Good morning and good evening. We'll start with some in-gathering and concentration with the Mahamrityunjay mantra playing in the background, centering ourselves and connecting ourselves with the breath, and then soaking in the beauty of this mantra. And then we go. So that was the Mahamrityunjay. And today I thought that we'll can do a small experiment that I often practice and I find is very helpful. And before that, I wanted to read something from the book, the Naam Japa book. And in that, it says that through the repetition of a particular name, the sadhak can realize the living form of the God within whom he worships. For this reason, the East and the name are inseparable. So the God and his name, her name is inseparable. One can certainly realize the Ishт by Naam Japa or chanting as we call it. In the outside world also, the name and form are inseparable. For example, if a warrant is issued in the name of a particular person, even without having seen him or without recognizing him, the person is compelled to appear in court. So if one calls a person by his name, even if one does not know him, the person is bound to respond. So also in certain mantras, the God whose name is repeated appears there. They are telling us in our language that how, if we don't even know and somebody calls our name from somewhere and we'll be like, yes, yes. The identification with the name is so strong. Here it's saying that God and his name are inseparable. It gives us a beautiful visual that when we call out, when we do Nam Japa, when we do chanting, how the God has to come. He will come and be present. He further says that in the yoga, transformation will be done by the supramental mother's force. This supreme Shakti is one and the same truth from the point of view of sadhana. The presence of the mother, the force, is absolutely necessary from the beginning. And by doing Ma Nam Japa, the mother's power will descend into the sadhak and start the work of transformation. So when we call out, like it's one doesn't have to wait, but if one starts the action of transformation of the of the different parts, it begins. So the action of transformation itself is the presence of the mother. So by the japa of Ma, the arduous path of transformation becomes easy. And it has been stated in the scriptures that the Sanskrit letter Ma itself is Chandra Bij, Chandram, the moon containing nectar, the Amrit. It is the symbol of coolness, peace, and ananda or bliss. And if one repeats this letter, peace, ananda, and devotion gets established in the adhara, which is the mind, vital, and body of the sadhak. So for right now, this is enough. We might take more a little bit later. So today, I thought that we'll do a little small exercise. So, how when we are engulfed by a certain emotion, by anger, by judgment, by, we keep going into the stories a lot of time, even when we don't want to. And yet we feel the being is choiceless. So in that situation, first we'll visualize a situation which we don't like, which often comes to us. If somebody says something and I get triggered, we all would have such incidents. So we'll pick up one such incident. So, and then we'll start chanting the name. First, we'll get into the incident. Then we'll start chanting the name, whoever we believe in. Like right now, I will be taking Ma's name, but whichever God we believe in, we'll take that name. And then we'll see that, okay, then there will be a conflict inside us that whether to go into the story or continue with the name. And we'll try to right now hold on to the name. So part of my story will be going, my mind will be wanting to go to the story, to the action, to the chaos, but I'll pull it and I will try to hold on to the name, to the chant, and let's see how that works. So I wanted all of us to practice to see that it does work and how we can use this beautiful tool and avoid a lot of impurity, negative thoughts, negative associations, and move more towards purification. Is there any question? I think I was speaking too fast. If you would like me to repeat, I'll be very happy to. Should I repeat that, or when I'll talk, you'll?
Yeah, Guru, please repeat.
Yeah. So I was saying, I'll breathe. Yeah. So I was saying that, a lot of times we have certain situations or pokings, right? That something happens and I explode, or I get angry, or I react, or I start thinking, "Okay, what is this happening? Why is it happening?" Right? A lot of us have fixed triggers, right? Sometimes obviously they vary, but we do have one or two, three, four triggers which always poke us and we react. So today, as an experiment, what we'll do is first, I'll guide you with what towards that. In that, first we'll remember one of the triggers. It will be like as if the trigger has just happened. So if a particular person says something to you and you get triggered, we'll try to get triggered. And then instead of doing what I always do, like say going into this, okay, why did she always say that? Why does he do this? Whatever the situation may be, I will try and use my mind towards the chanting. We'll choose one mantra, a simple name, say one can say Ma, somebody can say Ram, somebody can say Shiv, right? So we'll choose one mantra who we believe in truly, and we'll start chanting the name of the God we believe in, we associate with. And then we'll see a fight between the mind wanting to go in the story or sticking with the chant. And we'll see how, I mean, I don't know how successful it would be for each of us, but we'll see that we have a choice. And if we choose the chant, how we can stop going into the storylines and find a parallel movement, parallel path in which we can take and not then, waste our energies in the same loopy reactions, action, thoughts that we are used to. Did that make it more clear? Okay, thank you, Jagan. Yeah. Is there any more question, please? I'm assuming that you can hear some background music. Thank you. Now we'll close our eyes and with full attention, we'll take a few breaths. Let's take 3 long and deep breaths. Okay. And now let's try to recall one incident, one action, one comment, one situation that usually has the strength to trigger us. So we'll feel it in our body that, okay, for example, if somebody says something to me or does something, I get angry, and I've been doing that for months or years. Let's take 2 minutes and try to remember and feel as if that has just happened. If I don't feel some reaction in my body, if I'm not feeling any anger, let me try a bit harder to get into the situation that somebody has just said something mean, horrible to me. Like you're worthless, you're good for nothing. Why do you always do that? What's your problem? These words have just been spoken to me, directed to me. These were my personal accusations given to me. How is that making me feel in the body? You're hopeless. You'll never change. And now, if we feel, now it's time for us to retort. Somebody has said something really mean to us or the situation that we are imagining. And now it's my turn to speak. How dare you, I can say. You don't know me. I can say all this. And if all this is going in my mind. My God, how could that person say this? How horrible, how mean. And now, let me just shift my consciousness, try and shift and start with Naam Japa. For example, if I say Ma, 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 Ma. This way, whichever name you want to take, we don't even have to say it out loud, and we can do that. Let's now focus on the mantra, and in between, try again. I'll guide it that there's another accusation coming and stuff, but you have to stick to the mantra. So we'll start now. You can start chanting. You're hopeless. You're getting the trigger again. You're worth nothing. So rather than now listening to these triggers, I am trying to stick with the name that I have chosen. The name that I believe in, I have faith. You're horrible. What are you doing in your life? Staying with the chant with those words also in my mind right now. But I'm trying to focus on my chant as much as I can. Again, any trigger comes, anything that they say, you're a loser. Where are you lost? I'm sticking with the chant. I'm chanting, I'm taking the name. I'm using it as an escape mechanism for now. That if I'm holding on to it, I will escape the theories, the stories that I go into, which seem so important and so big, and yet I have seen they are worthless. They just take away my peace. They make me react in ways that I don't want to. The trigger comes again. I'm sticking with the mantra. If I want to alter the pace, say it loud, or say it silently, or say it fast or slow, I can do that. If we are able to do it, we'll feel the strength of the mantra inside our hearts, in our body. Remembering what Sri Aurobindo we read, that even if we call a name of a stranger, they come, they respond. And here I'm fervently calling my divine's name. It's impossible that they don't come. And now, for the next 3 minutes, let me just immerse myself in the name that I chose for myself. So I will not be interrupting now, and we'll be chanting for the next 3 minutes the name we decided to chant. We'll slowly come back. Just coming up, coming in. And so I don't know if it worked, if you were able to follow, if there's any question, any comment, anything one could have done differently that we can try next week. If you would like, you can share right now or share on the group. So, were we able to do it? Anything anybody wants to share is welcome. Okay, so let's chant Om 3 times and then we can end the session. Taking a long, deep breath in. relaxing into the chant, feeling the vibration of Om in my body, the vibration that it has caused. Breathing in and out through the vibration. Taking another long, deep breath in and chanting Om as I exhale. Another long breath. So thanking Grace for the ability to chant the voice, my understanding, my ears, my breath, and my faith. I thank for so much I have, and I aspire to not take anything for granted. I aspire to chant till I become the chant, so that the divine finds the house in me, finds a home in me, and lives with me, in me, and I in him. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll end the session. Thank you.
Thank you.